was wondering if you have a criteria, that you apply to every stock or certain stocks. When do you decide it's time to sell a stock, or do you hold forever until something major changes happen?
It all depends on the stock. Okay. Certain stocks you hit a target, you buy it and you hit a certain, you set an expectation of, okay, when the stock goes up 20%, I'm going to sell, take my profits, move on, go to the next one. Or when the stock hits 20%, you analyze it and you say, okay, it's up 20%. What caused it to go up 20%? Does it have more room to go? All right. Um, and uh, that's a very, that's one way of looking, because that's a very broad general question.
Mhm.
I'm sure you've heard, I think I mentioned it in probably your previous interview with me, the old one of Wall Street's expressions where bulls make money, bears make money, but pigs get slaughtered. Okay.
Yep.
Another time to sell a stock is, again, I'm watching the markets very carefully. I am on the camp that we are going to go for a major market meltdown. I underestimated it back in January at our last interview. Um, when I thought that Biden was going to come into office, that I thought it was going to cause a major. But then I realized quickly, me and so many other people realized quickly, oh, wait a minute. Um, there was too much, positive economic momentum going forward, which kind of saved it. But now we're looking, a lot of analysts are looking at what's going on with his policies, and the
That's what I was gonna say.
inflation.
Yeah.
The Fed is saying, oh, it's only temporary inflation, and what's holding up, what's kind of adding credence to that is the whole world's inflation rate skyrocketed because of their printing money to give people to stay home and lockdowns from COVID. Okay,
Mhm.
that's going to come to a screeching halt. What's going to come to a screeching halt is the borrowing, and the government's printing money. That's going to cause major economic havoc. We've seen it happen in the Carter years, in the early '80s, and then Ronald Reagan comes into office and destroys inflation after that. But massive government spending and overtaxing throughout history were never a good recipe for the economy. You can go back to FDR. Okay, even FDR, with the Great Depression and all that other stuff. The only thing that took us out of the Great Depression was the beginning of World War II. How, because now
Right.
governments were spending on producing products, and people, they needed to hire people. And when they needed to hire people, they're collecting tax revenue, and people are spending, and so forth and so forth and so forth. When you're just giving money to people, what's there to produce? What's there to, all you're doing is causing prices to go higher to the point where people just can't afford it anymore. And you're just giving it to, it's a disastrous combination. When is it going to happen? I think the market's going to continue to go higher, probably the end of the year. Now the talk on the street is that October's coming, and they think, that's a psychological, that month psychologically for the market is a down month. October, November,
Yeah. Then you get the headwinds of
right,
people are
right,
selling for tax purposes too. It's just
and
a lot of factors play into. And yeah, it's like eventually he's gonna have
right,
to. Biden will announce
right.
his tax policies. We know it's coming. He's gonna tax corporations more, at least attempt to.
And let me
I
tell
could
you,
see that
it's not even
rattling the
that.
markets.
One of the things he's looking to do that's not being talked about too much is he's looking to change the and this is very dangerous, extremely dangerous. He's trying to change the estate tax laws. One of the things he's trying to do is to lower the the estate tax exemption down to 5 million. I believe it's at 7 or 8 million right now. So what that means is that, let's say, the first $8 million of a person's wealth is tax free. If you lower it down to 5 million, now it only the first 5 million of a person's wealth is tax free. That's for starters. And what you should know is that the starting tax bracket on estate tax is 35%. So right off the bat, you're losing 35% to taxes. Okay. That's the beginning rate. Quickly goes up to 50, 60% very quickly.
Hmm.
That's one thing he's looking to do. Another very dangerous thing he's looking to do is eliminate the tax the tax code on trusts that are protected against taxes. So if you put money in a specific type of trust, you avoid estate tax on it. Well, he's looking to change the code and the language on it where to disqualify these existing trusts, existing, not new trusts, but existing trusts. Okay.
Hmm.
That's going to tax the hell out of those trusts, taking money out of the economy and into, the other thing he's looking to do, which is again dangerous, something called the stepped up basis. Let's say I own a house that I paid $100,000 for, and I die at the time of my death. The house is worth $1 million. There's a $900,000 capital gain, right? Profit. I give my daughters inherit the house. As the law stands now, is their cost basis is $1 million, whatever the house is worth at the time of death. Okay. He wants to eliminate that stepped up basis. So when my daughters inherit the property, their cost basis is my original cost basis of $100,000. So now my daughters, if they sold that house, they would have to pay capital gains tax on $900,000. You see what I'm saying? Those three things are a
Right.
recipe for major, major disaster. That means he's increasing income tax on everyone, not just the rich.
And then you add to that, tire tax on corporations. And the other thing I saw, which I would hope this doesn't get anywhere, was that they wanted to tax
Oh my
unrealized
God.
gains. Did you see that? I
It,
mean,
it, it is a
that would be
nightmare.
ridiculous.
But
But
I want to move on. And I also want to answer. I want to finish up with
yeah,
when do you sell a stock? You sell a stock when you're happy with the profits. You sell a stock when you see a major downturn in the markets, where you start seeing the trend. The trend is your friend. If you start seeing a steady downturn in a stock or a market, you watch it carefully, and then you say, all right, cut my losses, and you sell. You sell a stock when um, um, you sell stock when you have to, when you're forced to sell, which is the worst time to sell the stock, and you shouldn't have been in the stock market in the first place. Okay, but if you're happy with your profits, sell it. Okay, and don't look back. If you think the stock is going to continue holding, going higher, hold on to it, analyze it carefully, and watch it, and hopefully you'll make more. I've taken profits on a lot, almost the majority of my stocks, and I'm thinking of taking profits right now. I'm watching carefully on the Apple that I own, on all of them, all these stocks that I own, not just for me but for my clients, because I'm saying to myself, you know what, the time is coming, and if I end up losing an additional 10% upside, it's better than losing 50% on the downside, you know? So that's the way, but
right.
you monitor and you watch carefully.